Only in Hollywood can you be a feared street fighter, known as one of the roughest and toughest men in the world, and go on to star in some of the most beloved films from one of Hollywood's most acclaimed filmmakers. Then again, few such people have the magnetic personality and presence of the legend that is Lenny McLean. Here's Lenny famously playing a tough guy in the film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
He's a thief.
Harry has a colleague, a monster of a man, Barry the Baptist. The Baptist got his name by drowning people for hashing.
Are you gonna fucking pay? Are you gonna pay?
Barry makes sure the administrative side of the business runs harmoniously.
And here is Lenny in real life, beating the snot out of a man in an unsanctioned boxing match. Considered by many as the toughest man in Britain, Lenny McLean rose to prominence as one of the fiercest fighters imaginable. From bar fights to street fights to unlicensed boxing matches, McLean demolished opponents from pillar to post. Yet McLean was also a study in complexity, with a disposition that was as vicious as it was funny, and violent as it was forgiving. Lenny McLean was raised in the East End of London following World War II. It was a gritty, bleak landscape of factories, poverty, and a strong sense of community. After the death of McLean's father when Lenny was only 4, a vicious stepfather entered Lenny's life, inflicting heinous mental and physical abuse. By the time he was 15, McLean was in and out of the judicial system. This forged him into the physically imposing man for which he would become infamous. At his peak, McLean was 6'2" and 280 pounds of rock-solid muscle. McLean soon took to the nightlife, frequenting bars and clubs. After one particular night in which he nearly killed a man in a drunken fight, McLean quit drinking, but continued frequenting such venues as a bouncer and occasional enforcer. By his mid-20s, Lenny would begin to toil in bare-knuckle and unlicensed boxing matches, a rollicking pastime in 1970s London. It was only a matter of time before Lenny would collide with Roy Shaw, his most notable opponent. Shaw was the self-anointed governor of London, who spent his life either fighting, in prison, or fighting in prison. Like McLean, Shaw was a fierce underworld enforcer and unlicensed boxing powerhouse. After losing his first fight to Shaw due to an obvious lack of conditioning, McLean quickly arranged a rematch. Training in a makeshift neighborhood camp that would make Rocky Balboa's early days look posh, McLean made sure that in late 1978 the two would meet again in front of several thousand East Enders. On that night, McLean systematically destroyed his opponent, punching him so hard in the second round that he knocked him out of the ring.
It is said that the Mean Machine's rapid departure from the ring cost him a £10,000 purse.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, Lenny McLean!
A trilogy fight was scheduled to bring these two powerhouses together once again. Under the tutelage of Freddie Hill, McLean developed an understanding of how to truly box, slip, counterpunch, and dismantle a foe, rather than just using brute force to win. By the night of the fight, there were 30,000 people in attendance, a huge crowd even by today's standards. This was not just a fight for fans, this was a personal feud. It was two men who hated each other, meeting in their prime to see who would be the one true governor of London. As the years wore on and his boxing career waned, McClane again returned to bouncing at pubs, this time with an even more notorious reputation. He would often say, "Treat kindness with kindness, but treat violence with violence." By the 90s, wanting to tell his life story, Lenny eventually landed a book deal. His autobiography, titled The Governor, is a riveting read and became an instant bestseller. An Amazon link to the book is included in the description below. McClane parlayed his increasing fame into an acting profession, often playing a tough-as-nails enforcer or street tough. This culminated in his role as Barry the Baptist in Guy Ritchie's 1998 film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Sadly, Lenny wouldn't live to see the premiere of the hit movie. In 1998, at the age of 49, just weeks shy of the release of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Lenny died of lung cancer. Guy Ritchie dedicated the film in his honor. Of course, the legend of Lenny McClane lives on through his reputation, autobiography, and life in film. It's even apparent that Guy Ritchie was so fascinated by Lenny's life that he used it for great inspiration in his subsequent film, Snatch. Much of the plot revolves around London's unlicensed boxing scene, not to mention one scene involving a fight with a gypsy. You may recall a headbutt to start off the bout. Well, the same thing happened to Lenny in real life. This is how the infamous 1986 fight transpired between Lenny McClane and Mad Gypsy Bradshaw. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and want to see more of our Only in Hollywood series, please like and subscribe. Until next time, we'll see you at the movies.